Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Business as a Magical Practice, and welcome to our very first, very special episode of 2023. It has actually been a while since I've done one of these, like 22 episodes. And extra wow that we are at our 155th episode together. I was looking at the number because I sometimes just don't pay attention to the number until all of a sudden another very special episode comes forward. I was like, man, that is a lot of episodes. So thanks for being here with me and tuning in for another one. These are one of my favorite kinds of episodes because it's just me answering questions and chatting with you and sharing some of my favorite things, which is honestly the focus of this episode, because I have this like compiled list of things that I wanted to share, and it just got long. So here we are. You're going to enjoy it. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you already know the deal. Every 11 episodes, we do these very special episodes that are more candid. So before we jump in, I have an announcement to make, and that is we're doing something fun and new here at Dirty Alchemy, and that is a 8-day free live virtual event happening February 8th through 15th called Build a Funnel in a Week. And it honestly doesn't make sense that we're not charging for this, but I'm trusting my manifestor urge, and the urge is strong. I'm so excited to put this together for you guys. And it is essentially, we're going to be taking 8 days together to build a funnel for your business. And every day you're going to get an email from us with very distilled trainings, with templates that we use within our business and for clients of opt-in pages and welcome emails and sales page templates, and also tech walkthroughs with me. There we go. Tech walkthroughs with me. That'll take you through how to actually make a funnel work together and all the elements talk to each other. We're also going to have a pop-up Facebook group for the 8 days, and there'll be a live Q&A Zoom call with me for you to get your questions asked in real time. And if you follow along for the 8 days, you will be leaving with a fully completed funnel, which is just nuts. Like in a single week, you can have a funnel created. And I know that funnel can be a triggering word for people. They hear it and they think of sleazy bro marketing, when really what it is a way for you to automate and systematize creating value and building relationships with the people that you want to work with. So it is a very strategic move for your business. It will allow for more people to find you and fall in love with you. And it can be something that we do in a week. So if you can't make it live February 8th through 15th, and again, the only live part of this is the live Q&A call, which will be on February 13th. So really the only truly live parts of this is a live Q&A call with me on February 13th, and then our pop-up Facebook group, which will go for the 8 days from February 8th through 15th. Beyond that, all of the resources are just going to hit you in your inbox, and you'll be able to do it in your own time during that week. And we're also going to give you 30 days access to all of the resources and materials so that you can do it. If you can't get it all done in 8 days, or you have to travel during that time, or something comes up, you have an entire 30 days to work through it. And so you don't have to finish it in a single week unless you want to be all in for it. So just wanted to put that out here at the beginning of this episode. You can find the link to that in the show notes to sign up for free. It is also learn.thedirtyalchemy.com/FIW. Or go to Instagram, go to @thedirtyalchemy, and it will be in our link in bio. Okay, so let's get into this episode. And we're starting with a few of my favorite things for winter 2023. And the first one you may have heard me talk about on Instagram and in other podcast episodes, but one of the biggest favorite things right now is dancing again. And a huge element of that I recommend for clients and people that I work with who are intentionally trying to create work-life balance or work-life harmony, and they're trying to not be a workaholic, and they're obsessed with their business because it's a part of their sole purpose, but they don't want to be working all the time, but they almost have this compulsive urge to work all the time. I've been there, I know. The answer to this is very easily to create a life outside of your business that is exciting. And I know a lot of people started or boosted up their business during the pandemic. So being online and your business could have been the most exciting part of your life because we were all in lockdown. But we are in post-pandemic world, kind of. And you actually building a life with things and people and hobbies and passions that you are truly lit up by and turned on by is such an easy way to separate yourself from your business being your main squeeze, being the light of your life. And of course we want it to be we want it to be activating and exciting and feel like our sole purpose. But if it's literally the only thing that we're truly passionate about in our life, then obviously you're going to become a workaholic. So incorporating dance again, I grew up dancing. I started dancing when I was very small, I think like 5. And then I became more and more involved in it, where to the point in high school, I was dancing competitively. We would dance 10 to 15 hours a week in preparation for performances and competitions. And then when I went off to college at 18, I stopped dancing because college took precedence and I didn't feel like I could juggle it. And I pretty much haven't really danced since, because there was like this weird little like, oh, I need it to be hard enough and good enough and interesting enough, but not professional level because I'm not a professional, but like it had to be, I do have this dance experience, and I didn't believe that I could find anything that would fit the bill until I did, until a friend of my husband's friend's wife, there we go. She teaches dance on Maui, and I knew about it for literally years. For 2 years, I knew that she taught dance and followed her on Instagram, and I never ever went to a class. And then I finally did, thanks to the encouragement and guidance of a somatic experiencing practitioner, which we'll talk about in a second. And it has been such an emotional thing for me, of something that I was so incredibly passionate about, that it was over a decade that I didn't dance when it was such a fundamental part of who I was and my life. And I'm like, wow, how could I have betrayed myself like that? I don't actually feel that way, but there's like a part of me that's like, wow, I can't believe I gave it up, something that I was so passionate up for so long, and made so many excuses that I didn't have the time or didn't have the right place or whatever. And now I wanted to bring it up because I've already converted a few of my virtual friends and peers into looking for dance classes near them, because they also felt like they didn't have really exciting things and hobbies, and they didn't have great ways of making in-person friends. I know that's so common for adults to not feel like there's easy ways to make friends in person, and I absolutely felt that way, of like, it's so easy for me to make friends online and friends with other coaches, other business owners, other online entrepreneurs, because we have this shared connection and shared values. And we're also often interested in self-help and doing inner work and meditation, spirituality, all these things. But it's a little more difficult when we're thinking about the actual locations we're in. So I found dance to be one of the best ways for making in-person friends, and actually having a group of friends that you can see all the time. It's not just about like going out for cocktails or meeting up because you have kids that are the same age, but it's actually for a passion. So I highly recommend, if there's any inkling for you to dance, just go to a class or go to give yourself a few classes to try it out. There's so many different styles. And even if you hate one kind of dance or one style or one teacher, there's often a few other options out there. As I mentioned, the style that I've been enjoying is heels dance. And if you listen to our episode with Donna McCallum, where we were talking about activating our sacral chakras and our root chakras for more abundance in our lives, a really easy way to do that is to dance. So if you needed that encouragement too, it could actually unlock the flow of money into your business. Okay, moving on. My second favorite thing right now that I've been kind of obsessing over is self-liquidating offers, which is a concept I've known for a long time, but and I've implemented for clients. But this last season, we actually implemented it into our business, so into Dirty Alchemy. And what they are, a self-liquidating offer, some people call them pocket products. There's actually a few different names that people are trying to be like, oh, I have this crazy new concept and learn it from me. And they trademark a name when a lot of people have done that. You see that in the marketing world. But what a self-liquidating offer is meant to be is, if you've ever run ads to a lead magnet or a freebie, it can be expensive, where you're putting out money for someone to just exchange their email address to get on your email list. And then you go a few months of that before a launch, you're building up for a launch, and you don't actually know if these people are going to be buyers, but you've put out a lot of money in the form of Facebook ads or Instagram ads or YouTube ads or whatever kind of ads you're running. And a self-liquidating offer is a cheaper offer, typically under $99, but could literally be just $1, that you run ads to, and you run it to a cold audience, so people that don't know about your work, they don't already follow you, and it's a way for paying for ads, so it's self-liquidating. So my goal going into this was to make $0, in the sense that the ads will pay for itself, which is exactly what I have found happen through my results over the last couple months, where we've spent X amount of dollars in ad spend and we have made that exact same amount. So we put together a funnel, we put together a sales page for a $25 product with a checkout page with a $25 order bump, which if you've ever seen a checkout page with like a little checkbox on it to add something to your offer, that is an order bump. And then also an upsell on the back end. So that instead of a standard thank you page, it goes to an upsell page where people can add another thing to their cart. If you want to check ours out, you may or may not have seen it so far. We've definitely talked about it on the podcast before, and that is our 5 secrets of a spellbinding sales page, which used to be our lead magnet, which we've improved upon and added some bonuses to, like a meditation and some journal prompts and a chakra activation that all help with creating a spellbinding sales page. Again, we'll link to it in the show notes, or you can go to learn.thedirtyalchemy.com/better-copy. Mouthful. You're probably not going to remember that, but just had to say it. And it's just been so fun to get these I have it set up. We use Kajabi for a lot of things. So I have it set up so that Kajabi emails me every time someone buys. So once a day or multiple times a day, I'll get an email from Kajabi saying, congratulations, another student enrolled in 5 secrets of a spellbinding sales page. And it is such a dopamine hit to get that email. Every single day and be like, yes, more please. Yes, I'm into that. And yes, it's $25. It's not going to make, we're literally just doing it to cover the cost of ads and audience building and to build a list of buyers. But it's just been so fun. And I am absolutely a fan of high ticket pricing and high ticket offers, but adding in this another layer of, first of all, it makes the work more accessible, which is so heartwarming to be able to allow our wisdom and our work get to more people. But it's also just fun to get to have that volume of purchases coming in through the business. So self-liquidating offer, highly recommend. And if you join us for Funnel in a Week, that could be something that you are intending to do in the 8 days together, because that is a funnel. Okay, on to my third favorite thing right now, which is kind of lame, which is compostable face wipes. So I am not the person who has a full-on spa skin practice where I am doing serums and lotions and whatever. Like, I just find all of that really boring. I mean, it's just like, I can't be bothered. And I'm like semi-jealous of people who are into that because it is so good for your face and your skin. But I can't be bothered, and it's kind of gotten to the point where I would very often just not wash my face either in the morning or evening, and I was getting these little bumps on my face and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm eating something weird or if I'm using something weird. I already use extremely beyond clean face products, and I've cut out dairy for extended periods of time, so like I don't think it's that, and I couldn't figure it out. And then last year we moved onto the farm, so we live on an off-grid farm on Maui, and it's been even more challenging to take care of my face because of like, you have to walk over here to turn on the water, to turn on the whatever, and I just like my habit of not being hygienic where it was turned up. So my solution was to just get some of those, like you've seen them before, they look like little makeup remover pouches, but I got some of the Burt's Bees ones that are compostable because we compost everything here. So I got rid of my guilt around using single use whatever. So I can just use this face wipe and then compost it afterwards. And I've been washing my face more and getting into more of a skincare routine because I'm like, oh, I'm actually washing my face, so let's pay attention to what I'm putting in my face. And my little, like, tiny little bumps that were happening on my face within a week went away. So, I mean, I'm assuming the average person was washing their face more than me and is more hygienic than me. But I just wanted to share because it was such a thing that made so simple and made such a big impact. And what initially inspired this was a podcast episode, not of mine, but on the Expanded podcast. And it was Holistic Skincare with Christina Holy that I listened to, and that was episode 223 and 226 of the Expanded podcast. We'll link to it in the show notes. But Christina went through like all with a focus of clean and all with a focus of skin health. And I know a lot of people in the clean beauty space, they're obsessed with oil cleansing and putting oil on your skin, and it's never been good. It's not, my skin has never been into it. Some people, like, whenever I put coconut oil on my husband's skin, his skin just, like, straight up sucks it in. And I'm like, wow. If I do that to my skin, I just feel like I'm walking around with, like, a layer of oil and grease over it. Like, my skin doesn't suck it up the way that I know other people's do. So what I loved about this episode with Christina is it's not just a clean beauty, just use coconut oil and all this oil on your skin and blah, blah, blah. But what are the other components that you can use? So highly recommend those two episodes if you have been wanting to upgrade your skincare routine. It's not like something where you're like buying 5 different serums and whatever. It's like the biggest takeaway is like, yes, you should use sunscreen, not because sun is bad, but if you care about wrinkles and sunspots and aging, which I do. I'm becoming more vain in my 30s, and I'm noticing more wrinkles and sunspots. So having a serious sunscreen ritual for my face every single day. And also, I'll just encourage you to listen to that episode because there's very clear advice on what you should do depending on what decade you're in your life. Okay, so compostable face wipes, and go listen to that podcast episode. So my fourth thing of 5, I'm going to be sharing 5 today, is one of my best investments of 2022, which was working with a somatic experiencing practitioner. And even though I'm calling it an investment, it was actually pretty inexpensive, especially if you're used to working with high-end coaches, like $100 to $200 a session, depending on the person that you're working with. And I found one on Maui, even though we worked virtually on Zoom. I just wanted someone in my time zone because I'm in a weird time zone. And I found them through Peter Levine's practitioner website, who's the creator, or at least the person who trained Marked somatic experiencing, and that's traumahealing.org, which is such good SEO, that URL. But what I have loved so much about the sessions with the person I'm working with is that it is all encompassing. I'm used to working with people that focus on like, oh, they're coaching me on my business or this other area of my life or whatever. But it's something where it was just coming forward with what is my body experiencing today, what is coming up today in all of my life. And there wasn't any clear boundaries. And it was really about trauma healing and working with my body, and that being the primary focus, and that could ripple out so much from there. So I got a lot of healing through working with a practitioner. So I wanted to highlight it because it just really was surprising how gentle yet effective it worked. And as I mentioned earlier, through working with this practitioner, it was the thing that unlocked me actually going to the dance class. Even though I knew about the dance class and I knew I wanted to do a dance class, there was something in my body that was blocking me from being able to actually go to the dance class. So there's so many little subtle things that can be blocking us that if we work through our body, really unlock. So if you've been looking for someone to work with trauma healing, my person, I assume he's taking on more clients. If you want, I definitely recommend him. I'm looking up his URL right now. somatictherapymaui.com. Amitabh Amador. He's great, but seriously, you can find so many people dealing with so many different areas of life, and there's different people who specialize in different areas. So just check out traumahealing.org if you want to find a practitioner. Okay, final favorite thing for this very special episode is Gallery of Magic. So I have used, this is a unknown group of an unknown quantity of magicians. They call themselves the Gallery of Magic. They all have pseudonyms, and you can't find out their real identity. I've done the work. I want to bring some of them onto the podcast, but they don't even share their real name, so why would they come onto a podcast? We'll see. But I've used their work a ton in the last year, and they've written dozens of books. They have a very inexpensive Patreon account, and it's been a really fun way of trying out different types of magic. I got into magical work through finding first astrology, then Carolyn Elliott's work, then doing more planetary magic stuff, then just trying out different rituals and spells on the internet. And it's been, and doing my own thing, but it's been really fun to try out and go through actual books of magic and magical practices. And there are so many of them, literally dozens. And I was first introduced to them through Anna Marbeck, who has been on this podcast. She did all the planetary magic rituals for Monetize Your Magic. So you may be familiar with her if you've listened, and go listen to that podcast if you haven't. But I hired her to create a set of rituals for me in 2020, early 2022, specifically for buying a property, buying a piece of land, or buying a house, whatever, something to do with houses and homes, because it was a focused intention for so long, but there was blocks coming up where we have the money, we had the income, we had the good credit, but because we live on Maui and the real estate market and blah, 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 there were some circumstantial blocks happening. So I asked Anna to put together a set of rituals for me, and she put together all the rituals from various Gallery of Magic books. So she had me buy a few of the books and I think it ended up being 2 months worth of rituals of okay, do this one for 11 days and then this one and this one. It was fun. I as a Virgo, it was such a nerd out thing, and following directions. I fucking love it. No. And I mean, we did buy the house buy the property at 7-acre ocean view property on Maui in October 2022. So just a few months ago. So it's still, I'm recording this in January 2022. So it's still super fresh. And now it's been a year since I did that first set of rituals, and now I'm in another set of, I hired Anna again to put together another set of rituals for boosting my husband's business, which I'm thrilled by, because you will hear often in the self-help community that you can't do the work for other people. And I was talking to Anna about this, and she was like, oh no, I've like totally used, I mean, it's like consenting magic to people that I love to help them get things that they already want, not like I want to force this person to love me or anything like that. But my husband already wants to grow his business even bigger and even wants more revenue. So using this set of rituals to boost his business, she was saying that it can actually be more powerful to do magic for other people, because even if they're not paying attention to the magic you're doing, you're not like in the room with them, but you're just kind of going off and doing the magic, and it's not in their front of mind, it can be more powerful because they aren't consciously blocking it. And I was like, oh, this is so fun. This is so cool. If it's anything like the last set of rituals, it did take a few months to come together, so I'm not super rushed in any way, and I'm like in month 2 of this new set of rituals, but I'll keep you guys posted. My favorite, the book that I seem to be using the most is called The 72 Archangels of Magic, and we'll link to it in the show notes, or you can just look up Gallery of Magic on Amazon, or Damon Brand is one of the prominent pen names of them. And yes, there's plenty of controversial stuff associated with them, like any magician or witch on the internet. So I'm not really speaking to that. I'm more speaking to how accessible it is, how I have found it to work, and I find it just fun. It's super fun. So if any of you guys end up working with any of the Gallery of Magic books or rituals, let me know. We can geek out on it together. So those are 5 of my favorite things for winter 2023. And before we wrap up the episode, I wanted to share one recent revelation I had, which is so simple, but it is just very front and center in my mind. So I thought I would share, because I know it will help at least one of you guys. And that is regarding paying attention to your environment for your motivation and creativity. So we moved onto the farm in November 2022. So it's been a few months of working here, and I have my little office set up in its own structure on the property. And I've been having a harder time working and just being motivated and having a lot of energy. And I recognize a part of that has been astrological stuff with Mars in retrograde, when Mars is conjunct my ascendant in my natal chart. But another part of it was I was neglecting to address some circumstantial things. And for spiritual people and for coaches and for anyone who puts a lot of prominence into their internal world, we can sometimes hyper focus on our own minds and our own what's happening inside of us, versus sometimes it really is circumstance. And that's like, if you're familiar with feng shui and stuff like that, that can actually work. That can be this beautiful pairing of changing our outer world to affect our inner world, just as we change our inner world to affect our outer world. And so it took me so long to realize that the temperature, because we don't have air conditioning here, or I don't have air conditioning in my office, and I'm on Maui, it gets hot. It was just making me more sleepy. And then I was realizing the lighting in here wasn't as good, or it wasn't ideal for me. I like more natural light, and right now there's less lighting in here and more artificial light. And wow, what a difference simple changes can make of just, I've started renting an office space from a local production studio for a few hours a week, just to do various meetings and just to get some hours of work in, and just having that dose of variety and dose of air conditioning, it has immediately impacted my motivation and creativity. So I just want to share this as an invitation to look at ways that your environment is the problem. Like, sometimes it's not your thoughts. Sometimes it's not even something subconscious. It could just be what environment you put yourself in, especially if you're like me and I have tons and tons of open centers in my human design. Like I only have 2 defined center, everything else is open. So my environment matters so much for how I experience life. So this is your invitation to look at your environment. Or do you get interrupted too much and you need to put some boundaries in place? Could changing your lighting to have more natural light where you're facing a window, or changing a room in your house, or getting warmer lights or cooler lights? And how can you change your temperature so that you're more focused and more creative? And let me know what you uncover, because I think this can help a lot. And to wrap up, excited to share this first very special episode of 2023 with you, and to be here with you guys for 155 episodes. Oh yes. And don't forget to sign up for Build a Funnel in a Week. That is at learn.thedirtyalchemy.com/FIW, or the show notes, or my link in bio. We're going to be doing that, holding that live February 8th through 15th. And if you want to get started on a pre-assignment, you can sign up today, and you'll, in the welcome email after you sign up for free, is a pre-assignment that you can get started on that will prepare you for building that funnel in a week. And then we'll hit the ground running starting February 8th. Okay, you guys, talk to you next week. Have a good one.